All right, all right. Okay, guys. I'm waiting for some people to come in. I'm waiting for some people to come in. Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, Grand Rising, how are you? So it's Tuesday, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, here we are. We on a roll. What is this, like our 5th or 6th Tuesday? Yay, look at us. Grand Rising, I hope everybody's doing amazing. You know me, I absolutely am, because I make it my business to do so. So here we are. I'm so happy to see you all. I'm so happy that you're here. If you're new, welcome. Grab a seat, get comfortable, get you a pen and paper. I always tell you, when you come on here, you should probably have a pen and paper with you. Good morning. Who is this? John Ziegler, good morning. Well, I like to say Grand Rising, so let me say Grand Rising. How are you? Hey, Stephanie. Grand Rising, Mama. How you doing? Well, if you think it looks cool now, you should see it at night, girl, when I have like the waterfall on and the butterflies and all the lights everywhere. It's definitely a vibe. It's my favorite place. This is my creative space. And I actually made this space, so before I even got online and started teaching, like now full time, like I'm doing now, I had a vision for this, and so I had come in here, gutted the place out, took everything out. I mean, it was nothing in here, nothing at all, and well, brought it to life. And so it sat here for a few months, and now that we're in here and enjoying it, I'm so excited. You haven't, girl? Well, today is your day. Today is your day. Everything happens for a reason. I say this all the time. I don't believe in coincidences. So if you come across this space and this face, you hit on purpose, girl. So I'm going to do absolutely my best to pour into you as much as I can. This is what I do here. This is what we do. If you have a question or comment in the midst of the lesson, please drop it below. I will absolutely do my best to answer it. You know me, I let spirit come in and do what it wants to do. And so sometimes I do get deep in. And I am mindful, though, and intentional of these comments more so than I ever have been. So I will come back and answer. Okay, so last week we left off on self-mastery. If you missed it, go back and watch the videos from, I think, like the last 3 weeks. I wanted to make sure that, but I'm pretty sure that we're done because I want to move on, because part of self-mastery is doing what? Is being consistent and disciplined, correct? Another part of self-mastery is to master your thoughts, your belief space, your mind space, and your heart space. And I know personally for me, you know, I always will teach you from my experience. Everything that I get on here and talk to you about, I know to be true. So for me, I know that I was absolutely a self-sabotager. There's even some times where I still will catch myself trying to participate in that type of activity. And that is a self-sabotage is a subconscious and unconscious act. And so today we're going to talk about, are you a self-sabotager? Okay. Part of this journey is doing what? Being open, honest, and transparent with yourself. And so this is something that you're going to have to face and take accountability and responsibility for. The beautiful part is it's your life and you absolutely have the power to change it. So this is a part of you releasing those chains, those things that have you bound, so you can go up into the higher version of yourself. This is the whole point of our journey. You go into your higher self, then you are what? Available for spirit to come in and pour through you. And then here comes your purpose, your destiny, and the rest of the beautiful things that you are meant to experience. Okay, so let's get into it. Like I said, I was a big self-sabotager. Not only was I big on self-sabotaging, I was also big on what was I gonna tell you? Overthinking, self-critic. I'm a big self-critic, and this is something that you have to learn to balance because you don't want to be overly hard on yourself, okay? So let's get into the lesson, okay? So self-sabotage is behaviors or thoughts, especially often involuntary or unconscious. They come from involuntary or unconscious nature that are harmful to one's interest or development. Self-sabotage is often something learned in childhood. And it makes me think about my childhood. You know, I've been exposed to the streets since I was 11 years old. This is why I grew up so fast, and this is why my life looks the way that it did prior to my awakening, right? And so it makes me think about, you know, the things that we are pre-exposed to, the situations that we experience. Not only that, the things that are spoken over, around, and into us when we are in our adolescence, especially in that first 7 years of your life. You know, they say we are sponges. These babies are sponges. So it is absolutely vital that you be mindful of what you are speaking over, around, and into these children. You must understand your words are powerful. Your words are the creative forces that create your reality. So you speaking over these these innocent children, you speaking this energy into their life before it even has any chance to begin. You must be careful with your words. Okay, that's just a little side note. But like I said, it makes me think about how much we pick up and carry with us from our adolescence into our childhood. I'm sorry, from our adolescence into our adulthood. It's so let me stress this one more time to make sure that you are mindful of what you are speaking over, around, and into these babies, these children, okay? Just subbed. I can't watch now, but I would check out your videos. Okay, Mama. Well, listen, I'm here every Tuesday around this time. I'm thinking about changing it maybe later into the day so we can have some more people, because I know a lot of people are working and at lunch and stuff like that. But listen, I'll see you later, okay? Thank you so much for coming. I will look and be expecting to see you again, okay, my love? Enjoy the rest of your day, but make sure that you absolutely vibe hop the rest of your day, okay? Robert, hey, love, how you doing? Grand Rising. Grand Rising, welcome. How's your day going? I hope you're having an amazing day. Look, where you at? Are you driving? Yay, I'm so happy to see you. Welcome back. Yes, that makes me so happy. You just made my day. Now, let's keep going. Self-sabotaging behavior refers to intentional action or inaction that undermines people's progress and prevents them from accomplishing their goals. Self-sabotage occurs when people hinder their own success. Self-sabotaging is you betraying yourself. To self-sabotage is to you go behind your own back. Self-sabotaging is you working so hard on something that you're trying to accomplish, change, whatever it is, and for you, yourself, to go back behind your beautiful work and undo it. Self-sabotaging is looking in the mirror and not believing in yourself. Self-sabotage is over. Oh, don't let me get started. Let me stay on track here before I go somewhere else. In Duncan, South. Okay. So you said in South Carolina. I think that's where you were the last time, right? The last week. I've been looking at your video clips. Yay. Yay. How do you feel about it? Have you learned anything? Look, have you learned anything? Let me know that. Now, causes for self-sabotage range from, wait a minute, who is this? Hey, girl. Grand Rising, sissy. How you doing? I knew it was you when I saw the hearts on. How you doing, my love? How's your day going? I'm talking about self-sabotaging, so get your pen and your paper. Look, I know you already know a little of this, or maybe a lot of it, I'm sure, because you've come a long way, and I'm so proud of you. I will always say that to you, time and time again. I sure did. Yay. So that means you're going to stay, right? And I'm going to be seeing more of you, right? This is what this means. Okay. Now, causes for self-sabotage range from difficult childhood, growing up in dysfunctional families. Our earliest engagements with caregivers affect how we connect to others in the long run. This is how relationships are built. You can only build off of what you experienced. And so we know that depending on your life and where you've come from, we've not experienced the best things in our childhood. So now we're walking around in our adulthood still operating out of those certain emotional states. This is a part of why your reality looks the way that it does, if it's not reflecting what you are wanting it to reflect. Part of your self-mastery is what? Rebuilding yourself, right? From these things that you've experienced in the past. Part of self-mastery is knowing and understanding that nothing happened to you, that it happened for you. So you must begin to go back in your space here, in your internal closet. This is where your shadow work comes in. And you got to begin working on these places and spaces in you. Until you begin to heal these places, is going to hold you in a certain belief system. And you do not want to keep tearing yourself down. You do not want to keep standing in your own way. A lot of times, 9 times out of 10, when it comes to change, when it comes to us having to make and take the necessary steps that it involves to make change, we are holding ourselves back. It's you against you. And fear will absolutely hold you back, Sarah. But what is fear? Fear is faith going in the wrong direction. That's what fear is, because you can't live in fear and faith. And what do we absolutely know? Faith will trump fear every time. But you got to make sure that you're placing that faith the right way. You got to make sure that you're not looking outward and that you're looking inward. Okay? Difficulty in relationships. Toxicity brings all the negative traits and characteristics and things that they've experienced from one relationship to another. It doesn't matter if it's a friendship, a partnership, intimate relationship. What did I tell you? A ship is a ship. And in order for any ship to sail properly, the first ship that you must learn how to operate is your own vessel, yourself. You can't keep allowing what happened to you last season to go with you into your next season. There comes that baggage. Whenever you go from one relationship to another, you are supposed to take that time to do what? Reflect. Take that time to go into your higher perspective, your elevated perspective, so you can look into the situation instead of being in it and figure out what the problems were, because you don't want to continue to do the same thing. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Nor is it fair to you or anybody else involved that you would bring your baggage from one situation to the next. Every experience that you go to is a learning lesson. It's happening for you. It's happening on purpose. Take the lesson from it and move on. When you do this means the next relationship you go into is going to be absolutely better than the last, because you've learned something that you can now apply to the new. Something old must end for something new to begin. So I don't care if it's a mindset, a habit, an emotion. You got to learn to begin to alchemize these energies, okay? You don't just get to keep splurting them out and splurting them out. No, you're supposed to take that energy in, alchemize it, take that beautiful wisdom, knowledge from that lesson just learned, and move on. You live to learn to do better. Okay? The next thing is going to be low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is absolutely going to be one of those emotions that contribute to you self-sabotaging yourself. Because what is low self-esteem? Low self-esteem comes with what? That negative self-talk. You're talking yourself out of things all day long. If you're not talking about it, you're thinking about it. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for sharing. I love you. I love you. We got to coordinate something here. I love you, Mama. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, baby. So that low self-esteem, with low self-esteem comes that negative self-talk, overthinking yourself out of things, over talking yourself out of things, allowing others to let their ideas, opinions, and feelings about you seep into you, and now you're depleted. That negative self-reflection, looking in the mirror, not recognizing, because this is something I went through. It was one point in time where I didn't recognize who was reflecting back at me. I didn't know how she had got there and where she had come from, how long she had got there. So when it came time to moving her out the way, could you imagine the feelings that come with that? That self-reflection. And you also know your external world is a reflection of your internal world. That negative thinking, like I said, that negative belief system. How do you get stuck under these negative belief systems? Your experiences, things that happened to you in the past you've not healed from, so they just keep carrying over. So now you've allowed all those negative experiences, all those negative emotions, all those negative habits, all those negative patterns to become who you are. Your thoughts, your emotions, your belief. Just one more. Hold on. Your thoughts, your emotions. I'm sorry. Your thoughts, your emotions, your belief. What am I doing here? Why do I got a blank? I just drew a blank. Your thoughts, emotions, belief. Let me write this down because I got a glitch here. Your thoughts, your emotions, your belief. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh no, not I just went blank. Well, I'll come back to it here because I just went blank. I can't believe I did that here, but it's okay. So your thoughts, your emotions, and your belief, what you feel, that's it. What you feel, believe, and think about yourself make up your reality. Unfortunately, like I just said, sometimes you allow other people's thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions about you contribute to who you are or who you become. But that's not the way to go. That's definitely not the way to go. So you must be mindful of these things. And once you identify them, once you identify where these emotions lie, where these thoughts lie, where they originate from, you go in and start doing your work. And when you do start doing your work, what do I always tell you? You make sure that you go in and that you uproot it, because you don't want it to grow back. You don't want any of these emotions, feelings, any of these things to seep back into your body, to revert you back to who you used to be. Okay? The thing about a person with low self-esteem is the way they act confirms their negative beliefs they have about themselves. As soon as they get close to success, they get uncomfortable. this is what happens, okay? We know, what do we just identify? That a lot of times self-sabotaging is learned in what? Childhood. Let me tell you something else that is learned in childhood. These broken, distorted versions of emotions. And when I say this, what I mean is these versions of love, these versions of security, these versions of support that were improperly presented to you and called your life. This is now the same regard that you hold yourself in, and that is not who you are. You are not what happened to you. You are not what somebody said about you. You are not what you went through. This is where your power comes in. This is where that transmuting and alchemy comes in. All those things are your power. That is where your power lies. It's up to you to go in and do this work so you can get into it. Because it's yours. It's ready now. But you must what? Do what? You must not only choose, but you also must decide. Because we know choosing and deciding coincide. You can't choose and not decide. Because if you choose and don't decide, you get nothing done. Because you've not committed yourself to that choice that you just made. Hey, Stephanie. Ooh, hey, girl. Welcome, girl. Grand Rising. How are you doing? Let me know where you're from. I don't think I recognize you, so I think this may be your first time here. Welcome. Welcome. Make yourself at home, girl. Okay? Get you a pen and some paper. Look, go get you a cold drink. Whatever you need to do. Your thoughts, your emotions, your belief, and how you feel about it. Yes. Yes. That is it. That is your life. That is your life. Over and over and over again. All your life is an experience after experience after experience deriving from your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your feelings. Why? Because this is your energy. You are an energetic being. All you can experience is what? What your conscious mind impresses on that subconscious mind. Whatever that mind believes, the universe, God, Buddha, whatever it is that you believe in, must absolutely then create the event to match that emotion. That is your life. And it doesn't do anything but play out over and over and over again. This is what makes you live in the past, the present, and the future at the same time. Because either you can choose to dwell in the past and allow yourself just to continue that cycle and that pattern and that vibration over and over and over until it's your end all be all. Or you can choose to transmute that energy, go in, do your inner works, and turn all that into power and step into it. Once you step into your power, what do? You then become the highest vibration of yourself. Once you become the highest vibration of yourself, you can do nothing more but fulfill your purpose. You can do nothing more but do what you were created here to do. To think that you were created to feel, think, believe anything other than greatness about yourself, well, you're greatly mistaken. I'm sorry to bust your bubble just now. That is not why you were created. It is a whole world inside of you right now that only you can create. There is an idea, an invention, a talent, a gift that lies in you right now. Nobody in this world will ever possess. This is why you got to take your time more seriously, right? This is why you must understand you're not too late. When you wake up, you are right on time. And it is time for you to then start doing your work so you can get into position and get into alignment. Nothing is supposed to, your life is not supposed to be hard, my love. Your life is not supposed to be unhappy. Your life is not supposed to be complicated. Your life is not supposed to be filled with lack. Your life is not supposed to be consumed by struggle. You have to break these chains. When you think a beautiful thought about yourself, I don't care how dark it is where you are, how low it is, how big, how wide, I don't care. When you have one of these beautiful thoughts about yourself, that is your higher self calling you. But they can't just come through, baby. You got to let them in. And the only way for them to come in is you must clear this space. You got to clear this space. So every day, everything that you do, everything that you should be doing should be centered around recreating, reprogramming your mind, heart, and soul so you can get into alignment. But how can you do that when every time you take 2 steps, yourself pulls yourself back? Because it got to the point for me where I became the witnesser of it. I could see myself and everything that myself was doing to myself to hold myself back. And let me tell you this, that's okay. When you experience this self-sabotage, you have to understand what happens. The ego, the pride, the logic mind, the flesh, all these things come into play because they absolutely know a part of them has to die. So you can absolutely expect that lower vibration of yourself to go into fight or flight mode with your higher self. So now you are in a battle. You must pick a side. You must begin to balance. That's part of mastery. It was a time where it's like I can remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember going in the bathroom and like walking by. You know how like you walk by a mirror and you get a glimpse of yourself and you do like a walk back, a look back? Because I didn't recognize that person. I did not recognize. I had allowed everything in my life that had happened to me to become who I was. You got to pick a side. And this is where this next thing comes in. This cognitive dissonance here. What is that? Holding 2 or more conflicting beliefs at one time. That's that light and that dark, that devil and that angel, that old self and that new self. There's absolutely going to be a war between. This is where your free will comes in. This is where you choosing comes in. This is where you deciding comes in. What are we just into the fall here? It's fall, right? It's fall. That means we're going to start seeing the leaves changing, the colors of the leaves. You know, you have the old spring. I'm a gardener. I got things outside right now that are withering away because it's no longer their season, and things coming up right now because it is their season. You are required to change at some point in your life. If the seasons change, why would you think that you were meant to be the same? Stagnant, complacent, stale, small, whatever it is that you feel about yourself forever. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Pick a side. And I'm going to tell you now, when it comes to this side picking thing, let's talk about this right quick as well. Because a lot of times, when it comes to picking a side, a lot of people think the grass is greener on the other side. And so, this is just a little side note, okay? This is just a little bonus here I'm throwing in, okay? But when it comes to choosing a side, stop choosing the other side because that grass looks like it's greener. Start taking some time to nourish and cultivate your own land. Because it's riches that dwell there. But you gave up on yourself too easy. You gave up on the idea too easy, the vision too easy. Now, some behaviors that come with this self-sabotaging is absolutely going to be procrastination. I used to be the queen of procrastinating. What did I tell y'all my favorite word used to be? Tomorrow. Later. Tomorrow was the main one. And tomorrow never came. Later. Procrastination. And many do this because they fear disappointing others, failing, or success. This is one thing that you will notice about self-sabotaging. Right when you get to the cusp, right when you can see the light, as soon as something starts to feel good, you go in and tear it all down. And this is because pain, hurt, whatever that emotion is your normal. And so when it comes to success, when it comes to feeling good, when it comes to positivity, you don't enjoy it. And that's okay. But it's one of the psychological things that we endure because of how we were raised and what we've been through. So you will, instead of enjoying that bliss and that joy and that happiness, you will create a situation or an event yourself, like I said, to tear it all down. Start paying attention. Start being mindful. Start being aware. Start being present. Start being conscious so you can start observing and identifying these things, okay? Hello, it's been a long time since I've been on. The chilling puppy. Ooh, have you been here before, love? It's been a long time since I've been on your live. It sure has. Look, it sure has, because I've not seen you around here in a minute, but in your favor, I will say that my lives were not, they were so sporadic, and so now they've become more consistent. And so if you see me at this time, you're more than likely you're going to see me again, because I'm here now on purpose, for real, to stay. And we're just getting started, so welcome. Get comfortable. I'm so happy you're here. I hope you're having an amazing day. The next thing is going to be perfection, holding yourself to a standard that doesn't exist, which results in delay and hinders your success. If you are experiencing whatever you're experiencing, and we already know that it's going to be 9 times out of 10 not so great. This is how we found ourselves in that space. Why would you set these big unattainable goals? Why would you hold yourself to such a high standard when you know that you attaining that is absolutely not going to be possible right now? self-sabotage, so that way as soon as you get to work doing it and you know it becomes too hard, you don't have that motivation, you don't have that drive, you just do what? Give up, because giving up is always easier, and revert back to your old self. But you could make it look and seem to others like you just gave it your all. No, you didn't. You set yourself up for failure on purpose, because you didn't believe it in the first place. You're going to experience that. I'll tell you that now. You're going to experience that several times. But just like I told you, keep doing and keep trying, because eventually it's going to stick. Whatever that thing is you're trying to change, or you're trying to break, you're trying to let go of, just keep. And it's going to stick. It's going to stick. Just keep at it, okay? Keep at it. Like I tell you all the time, it's okay. It's okay to trip. It's okay to stumble. You may even fall, but get up. As long as you don't stay down, you'll be all right. The next thing is going to be self-medication. And we all know I was an addict. I talk about it very openly here. I was very addicted to, well, several things here. And part of that was because what? The idea of success and accomplishing things, and it just seemed like such a big obstacle, a big task for me that, well, I didn't want to take accountability nor responsibility for even trying to begin to accomplish anything. And so what did I do? Well, I just got high, because as long as I was high, I wasn't thinking about what was actually going on. I was separated from. I was up here and everything else was down there. I didn't have to be, I was not connected to it. This is why we see people, like I say, in addiction, because as long as when you're self-medicated, you don't feel. And it was a point in time in my life where I absolutely did not want to feel. I can remember saying out of my own mouth, out of my own free will, that I did not want to be sober. I didn't want to. I absolutely did not want to. And that was one of the hardest truths that I ever had to face in my life. I can remember it. I was trying to do a fast. This is when I had first began my journey. And, you know, I had specific things to not indulge in or partake in. And, well, instead of not doing it, it's like I was overindulging, over partaking. That flesh, do you hear me, took over. And, well, I'm going the opposite way. I'm not headed the right direction at all. And I remember one day sitting with myself and literally asking myself, questioning myself, why are you doing this? Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing the work to go and tear it down? I don't understand. And I remember I said, I don't want to stop. And, well, that was, I mean, it was the absolute truth. I did not want to stop. A part of me did, and a part of me didn't. And that's where that cognitive dissonance came in for me. I didn't know what way I wanted to go. The left or right, up, down, be high, be low. And this is the thing about the human nature, right? A human will ask for something and you'll give it to them. And as soon as you give it to them, they don't want it. They want something else. So it can all be fixed though, right? We can fix this. You can fix this. This is a part of your transmutation, okay? Now, how to stop self-sabotaging. Let's talk about it real quick. You got to find the root cause. You must go in and identify where it's coming from. Love, something happened to you one day at some space and time. It may have been multiple days, multiple spaces in time, but it originates somewhere. You must go in and find that root. What did I tell you? When you remove something, you absolutely have to pull it up by the root. What do we know? We are made out of a root system. You got to grow down before you grow up. It's on my YouTube. I just did a live on that, like 3 weeks ago. And that growing down means you growing your root system first. You're not going to see external things on the outside before they happen on the inside, baby. God delivered me from alcohol. It could, yeah, you can, yeah, absolutely. It can always be worse. That's one thing I always tell myself, and not even that, somebody would trade places with you in a minute. What is your worst is somebody's best. It's all about your perspective, right? So you got to find the root cause. That's the first thing. 2, the next way to stop self-sabotage is going to be, you must identify the patterns in your life. You have to identify this because it's something you're doing. Whether it be a physical thing, a mental thing, a heart thing, but it's something going on there. There is a pattern. There is a loop that you are stuck in. So you must go in and identify where that is. Once you figure this out, you then ask yourself, do you often sabotage your progress before or after you, how do I want to say this? Before or after you begin? Like, do you start sabotaging before you start working on something or after? For me, it was both and in between. I was throwing daggers, poking holes, whatever you want to call it, all up and through the beginning, the middle, and the end. This is what I want to tell you in this little space right here. When you begin to recognize these patterns, when you begin to identify these spaces, these horrible things that we do to ourselves, first of all, give yourself some grace. Okay? Next, we're going to forgive self, because we can only do what we know to do and how to do it. This is why we live to learn to do better. Give yourself some compassion. Just like you run to the aid of others when they're in need, this is the time for you to run to your own aid, because these things coming up to the surface, they're absolutely going to cause an emotional response. You're absolutely going to feel some type of way about these situations. So make sure that you're loving on yourself properly in this time and space. Make sure that you're creating the atmosphere and environment for yourself to be able to have this experience. This is a lifestyle now. You're going to be doing this the rest of your life. There is no reason for you to jump in here and jump on yourself and be so hard or be so aggressive. Okay, you don't want to come in so hot, so intense. This is going to, in the long run, detour your journey, because you're going to become overwhelmed. You're going to become overexerted. You're going to become tired. Something is going to happen to where you feel like you've had enough and you no longer want to do it anymore because you placed too much on yourself too quick. Self-sabotage. Okay? One thing I want you to start implementing in your daily life from now on, whenever you feel an emotion, whenever you think a thing, whenever you feel something, Whenever you act on something, before you do it, ask yourself. I want you to start asking yourself, is this reinforcing the old me or is it commanding my new vibration? Because every time you make a choice, love, if it's in that old energy, it's going to make those bonds and chains tighter, stronger. If you start now commanding that new space, that new energy, that new self, every time you make a choice or a thought, allow a thought to come in, whatever it is, you now begin to loose the restraints, the strongholds, the bondage up off of yourself. And slowly but surely, if you can maintain that vibration and that frequency, you will become anew. That's it. That's the bottom line. Do that and, well, you'll be a new beautiful being here. Okay? So, I hope you learned something today. I hope you learned something today. Y'all know I love you. I love you. I love this. I'm loving this space that we're in. So, I'm really committed to this. Look, I'm really committed to this. And I want to see you guys, your all's progress. I want to see it. I want to be a part of it. This is what I'm here for. A spiritual song for this topic is encourage yourself. Absolutely. Encourage yourself. Yes. Yes. I don't want to say anymore because if I keep talking, I'm going to start going into my lesson for next week. So I don't, but yes, you absolutely must encourage yourself. At all times, day, morning, noon, and night. This also ties into what? Keeping yourself covered. This is your life, your space. Nothing can just happen to you unless you allow it in. So whatever's happening in your life, whether you're conscious or unconscious of it, but you've invited it in. You're allowing it to be there. You want it to be there because if you didn't, it wouldn't be. You'd already be taking the necessary steps that you need to break yourself free. That's why they say a pad lips will say anything, but actions always speak louder than words. You don't have to try to do nothing in your life. You do. It's yours. It belongs to you. Do something about it and with it. Now, I'm getting off of here because I'm finna keep going. Did you? Yay! Yes, I love that. I love that. How do you feel? How's your vibration? What's your energy like? What are you guys' let me know. How's y'all's energy flowing? Where's your energy at? Are we doing self evaluations throughout the day? Are we doing energy checks throughout the day? Are you creating your space and your atmosphere, or are you allowing your space and your atmosphere to control what you do and how you feel? Ask yourself these questions daily, okay? Daily. Consistency. Consistency and discipline cultivate mastery. I'm about to go find me something to eat. I've not eaten all day. I went to the gym this morning. I did about 2 hours. I had some fruit to break my fast and a little water. Now I'm ready to eat. So, oh, that's something else I wanted to throw in here. So, well, I don't know if I want to throw it in right now. I guess I might get back on tomorrow. But well, yeah, let me tell y'all about it. And Sarah, you know about this. I'm going to be starting a 21-day self-love challenge. It's 21 days where we either drop an old habit off or pick a new habit up. I'm not sure of the dates yet, but I will be letting you know in the next few days. It is absolutely going to be in the month of October. So be waiting to hear from me on that. But like I said, I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. But what do I want you to make sure that you absolutely do for the rest of your day? Vibe high.